Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 wrestling talk show in the whole entire world. This is Ringside With Gio to bring you your Monday Night Raw review. And oh my, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the biggest week in the history of wrestling. Monday Night Raw started off with a bang in the brand new era for WWE. NXT and AEW are going to absolutely steal the show on Wednesday. And NXT is going to be going live for 2 hours for the first time. Last time it was 1 hour, but this time it is going to be 2. And not only that, AEW will be having their first ever show on Wednesday on TNT. I cannot wait to see that. And on Friday, Smackdown will now be on Fox. And that is going to be absolutely glorious. Shout out Robert Roode for the term glorious. Hopefully he doesn't get pissed off that I use it. I'm sorry, man. I had to. Best reference, best catchphrase in WWE, in my opinion. But, so, before I get into my Monday Night Raw review, you know I always do this. I gotta cover some things up here real quick first. I noticed that in the last video, the video cut off in the 13th minute. We're very sorry about that. We noticed a little bit later on, probably towards the third hour after 3 hours after the video was uploaded, is when we noticed. It shouldn't happen again. We don't know what really happened, but when we did upload it, it showed us that it was on 20 minutes, but it ended up being 13. We don't know why. You hate to see it, but whatever, move on. I doubt it's gonna happen again tonight, but whatever. And now on Friday, about SmackDown, I'm 90% sure I will be doing a review, but I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know what time it'll probably come out. The problem is because, guys, I'm a Yankees fan, alright? I got to see my Yankees play, alright? They're playing the Twins, should take care of business. Then we'll see Houston or Tampa, most likely going to be Houston. But, yeah, I got to watch my Yankees game, but I do have the Xfinity app, so I will be watching the game. I will be watching SmackDown as well while watching the Yankees game, but I'm going to see what I'm going to do that day. But you guys will be getting a SmackDown review. Don't worry. You guys will be getting one. Trust me. So, Monday Night Raw started off with a bang. Everything is different now. New commentators. Vic Joseph is very, very good. I really like him a lot. I think he's a damn good commentator. I commentate myself as well, and I know a good commentator when I see one, and he's a really good commentator. I like the energy that it brings to the table. He's very smart. He's not all over the place. He's very confident, and he literally went out there like if it was like on any other Monday Night Raw. He's been there, done that. He knows what to do, and he carried himself absolutely fantastically. And Raw has a brand new set. There's Pyro now. They brought that back. Just like the entrance, the ramp, everything's different now. Everything's different. The Titantron, I like it. Some people might not. I like that it's brand new. Maybe the Titantron and the entrance, like where the wrestlers make their entrance, might need to be kind of revamped. But I like the change. I like that they're starting off new, hot, in a brand new era. Knowing that AEW now is around the corner, I like this a lot. And this is big. This is big for WWE. The changes that they're making, hopefully, not only is it visual to see, that they're changing, the look and all that, but what is given to us on TV, hopefully that gets better as well. I think Raw wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show, but it did keep me entertained for most of the show. I just wish Raw was 2 hours. But I know right now they're in a contract for 3, so we'll see what happens once they go back to 2 hours, or if they even do, but we'll see. So, the show opens up with an absolute banger. Rey Mysterio comes out to the start of the night. He says later tonight he's going to face Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Yeah, you thought. And he says he owes this match to his son, Dominic. His son is ringside. Mysterio then is interrupted by Brock Lesnar's music. I'm like, oh my God. Lesnar's music just hit. He's probably going to come into the ring. Rey Mysterio, get the hell out of the ring, because this guy's about to beat you down. Just get out. And Rey Mysterio stays in. He's a brave guy. He stays in. He stays in the ring, and he's just looking at Lesnar. And Lesnar just snatches the microphone away from him. As Rey Mysterio just was holding it. And then Paul Heyman's about to do Lesnar's introduction. And when he's about to do it, he's like, he has, let me use this for example. He has the microphone right here, like right next to Rey Mysterio. And Mysterio just snatches the remote away from, the microphone away from him. And he says something, and then freaking Lesnar is like, oh, hell no, like, I ain't doing this right now. Picks up Mysterio, hits him with the F5, and he's looking at Dominic. When he's looking at Dominic ringside, I'm like, oh, haha. If WWE is thinking what I'm thinking, we're about to get started. This is about to be a banger if this actually happens. So, which it did. Lesnar looks at Dominic, and he's just like praying, and he's just eyeing Dominic, and then he goes to ringside by the barricade. Dominic sits back down. Smart thing to do, but Lesnar doesn't care. He grabs Dominic, picks him up over the barricade, throws him on the floor, picks him up again, slams him against like the ring post, then brings him to the middle of the ring. He's just completely toying with Dominic. He hits him with a German suplex, and when he hit him with that suplex, I was like, Jesus Christ, the Yankees need to do this to the Twin Friday, baby. That's what we gotta do. What Lesnar did to Dominic, that's what the Yankees gotta do to their opponents in the playoffs. Just dominate. No remorse. No remorse. I always gotta put my Yankees in there. You know that, guys. But, yeah, well, Lesnar just absolutely destroyed Dominic. He destroyed Rey Mysterio. And after that, Lesnar, he leaves the ring. Heyman's like, oh, God, what did you do? Why'd you do it? And Lesnar just gets the hell out. Stretcher comes, takes Dominic. They put him in the ambulance. Rey Mysterio is saying, this is all my fault. He's crying. He takes off the mask in the ambulance, which is actually a pretty cool thing to see. And that is what that consisted of. Next here is Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. This was getting heavily promoted a lot, I guess because of the past history that they really had, but this match wasn't really anything special. Becky Lynch is also on commentary, and for most of this match, she was just standing on top of the announcement table, eyeing Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks wins via pinfall after she pretends to call for Bayley. So Sasha Banks is on the floor, and she's she's sitting down, and she's looking at Alexa, and Alexa is going to her, and Sasha's like, wait. And then she's like, she calls for Bayley. Bayley wasn't actually there, but Alexa Bliss, by the way, Alexa Bliss, idiot of the night. She turns around like if Bayley's there, and I'm like, you gotta be dumb, like, come on. And that was just dumb, like, to just have her just scripted, just like fall for that. I felt that was pretty weird, pretty dumb, but whatever. And she pretends to call Bayley, which distracts Alexa Bliss. This allows Sasha to kick Bliss's injured leg. She rolls her up, and she wins 1, 2, 3. After the bell, Becky Lynch runs to the middle of the ring. She attacks Sasha Banks. They're both fighting. This leads to Sasha Banks leaving the outside of the ring. And Lynch gets on the mic and says that in Hell in a Cell, she won't be able to leave this time, like how Banks left the middle of the ring just right now. Excuse me here for a second. God, this water bottle's possible to open. My bad. I don't want to make a mess. Got it. That right there, what I just did to this water bottle, oh my God, just for doing that. That water bottle was tight. Whoever makes these water bottles, look at this. Jesus, man. They made that so tight. Now, Seth Rollins interviewed here. After a recap of what happened to Seth last week, Rollins cuts Charlie Caruso off. He says that he can only think about what Brock Lesnar did to Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and says that that's a line you don't cross. As for Hell in a Cell, he doesn't know how to game plan for someone like The Fiend. He's worked too hard to get the Universal Championship back, and he will prevail on Sunday. He says that Mysterio isn't fit to compete right now, but promises him that he has a Universal title shot when he gets better. Rollins, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you're probably going to lose to The Fiend at Hell in a Cell. And Mysterio's probably never going to get that title match with you. Maybe he'll get a match with you, but not for the title, because The Fiend's going to win. We all know this. Next here is Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Heavy Machinery for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Very good match. Very good match. I actually enjoyed it. It was a fun match, and I really like how Ziggler and Robert Roode are coexisting. I remember at the beginning, I wasn't a fan of this tag team at all. I wasn't. WWE usually has a tendency of doing this, getting two random tag teams and then just putting them together for no absolute reason. But it's actually been working. You know, you kind of don't have anything for Robert Roode right now to do as a solo wrestler or Dolph Ziggler. But what they did right here was that they saw that they had nothing to do for them, but let's put them together and let's see what these two are capable of. I'm loving the transitions of the super kicks to the glorious DDT. It's phenomenal. That's how they win. Roode pins Tucker after a glorious TDT. It was a great, really good showing here for Roode and Ziggler. After this was Miz TV. So, before he starts it off, before he brings out Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, he talks about how it's unfortunate of what happened to Dominic and Rey Mysterio, and that like he'll be damned if anybody ever did that to his kids. And after that, Miz brings out Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and Jimmy Hart. Flair and Hogan start to talk and pump themselves up to fight when Miz stops him. Miz says that at Crown Jewel pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia, it will be Team Flair versus Team Hogan. Team Flair will have Randy Orton as his captain with Seth Rollins on Team Hogan. Orton comes out and to challenge Rollins which then brings out King Corbin and then Rusev. The three start to fight with Rusev getting the better of Orton. So Seth Rollins here comes out first before Randy Orton, and he just shows that he's on Hogan's side. Then Randy Orton, you know, Evolution. We already know, if you're a wrestling fan, I'm pretty sure you know. I don't need to go over that. Randy Orton, Ric Flair, Triple H, Batista, the group Evolution. Probably the greatest group, or one of the greatest factions of all time in WWE for sure. Some could argue it's the greatest faction in WWE or in wrestling history. But Randy Orton comes out, he claps up Ric Flair. Seth Rollins, Orton, you know, just staring each other down, and then they're about to fight, and then Corbin comes out. He hits Seth Rollins like with the, I don't know what you call that big stick that he got, or like the throne, I guess, something like that. He hits Seth Rollins with it, and then Rusev's music comes, like it just hits, and he comes out to help Seth Rollins. And I'm just really confused about why they're actually going to be doing a 5-on-5 and all these people in the ring. I was really confused about all this. Rusev was a heel not too long ago, but is now a babyface. There's no real explanation to this. And it's like, why are we doing a 5-on-5 at Crown Jewel if you're going to have Survivor Series coming up? Like, it's right after Crown Jewel, but I understand why they're doing it. The more star power, the more money, you know, and I understand it's a smart business thing to do, but booking wise, it doesn't make the most sense. But remember, everything's a business, and that is something you cannot argue. So next here was backstage. So Rusev was basically saying how he helped Seth Rollins, so Seth Rollins owns him. Since Rey Mysterio is now going to be fighting for the title tonight, Rusev wants that title shot. Look at Rusev, man. Look at him. Playing the system. And next here was, the same thing with AOP. They're backstage, just talking about how they're like the tag team division, what they've been doing, and I'm loving what WWE's doing with them. It's really good what they're doing with them. I'm really happy with it. You guys know this. I was talking about earlier on the Raw review and Smackdown reviews. Where's AOP? Are they? I just didn't know, and now they're back. And you know what? I'm liking what they're doing with them. Don't put them out in these jobber matches. I know what AOP is capable of. You don't need to do that. I know what they're capable of. There's no need to put them out there against Jack and freaking Timmy from, I don't know, some random city here. Like, you don't need to do that. Just have these guys go out, have them fight actual WWE talent, build themselves back up, have Heavy Machinery eventually win those tag team titles, and have a Heavy Machinery and Authors of Pain match. That right there says it by itself. Next here was the Viking Raiders versus the Viking Raiders versus the OC. Viking Raiders, this is a pretty quick match. OC continue to get buried. What else to do? The Viking Raiders win via pinfall after a frog splash. But I am liking that the OC, though, even though they're losing matches continuously, I always like to see them on TV. I always do. But yeah, the Viking Raiders win. Good win. That's what they need. Build up momentum. They're hot right now. Keep that rolling. Keep that going. But I think that should be the last match between the Viking Raiders and the OC. We don't really need to see them that more in the ring. We've seen it over a good amount of times already. We don't need that anymore. Next here was the Cesaro interview backstage. So Cesaro is backstage saying how he doesn't really care about what happened to Dominic and Rey Mysterio. If anything, he's happy about what happened. Because if it wasn't for Lesnar, he would have done the same thing. And then Ricochet comes out and he's like, look, Cesaro, like he's just like telling Cesaro, look, if you're so tough and you're saying all these things, come meet me in the ring. And that's what happens. Ricochet versus Cesaro. It was a pretty good match, and Ricochet wins via pinfall after a reverse Hurricane Rana off of the top rope. Hopefully, this is the last time we see these two fight. I'm not saying because I feel like they're just not good with each other in the ring. They're actually really good with each other in the ring. They flow perfectly. But we've seen this match so many times. And that's another thing I want to say. Overexposure in WWE. That is the biggest issue with WWE. Overexposure. Seth Rollins was shown tonight. Wrestling in a match. Ricochet once again. Cesaro once again. You put all these guys the same week. NXT is not going to put Adam Cole in a match every week because people are going to get bored of it. With Seth Rollins and, for example, Ricochet, they're not really getting that that type of reaction from the crowd like how they used to. Why? Because they're shown every week, every single week. Have these guys come out once every 2, once every 3 weeks, put on a damn good match, build themselves up, help them, have them get wins, and yeah, it's just overexposure in WWE is probably in my opinion. I think that's the biggest issue right now. Next year was the Firefly Funhouse. This was actually one of the longest episodes, and I loved it. I wanted more. I love this, man. I love what they are doing with the Fiend. I said on the last Smackdown review, some can say that this might be Vince McMahon's greatest creation. I don't know if he had any say in making this. I don't know if he actually came up with the Fiend. I'm pretty sure he did. He's Vince McMahon, alright? He has the most say in WWE. I'm pretty sure he came up with the Fiend. If I had to decide, I still think The Undertaker is the greatest creation he has ever made. But the Fiend is one of the greatest creations. Not the, but one of the. So, Abby the Witch is seen crying while Huskus is shaking out of fear. Mercy the Buzzard is shaking scared in its box while Rambling Rabbit says he's scared to death before dying. Bray Wyatt comes out to check on Rambling Rabbit and says he's gone before tossing him and asking the other puppets what's going on with them. Abby says that they are scared about what the Fiend is going to do on Sunday to Seth Rollins. Wyatt says it's okay to be scared and he's afraid too. Bray says there's no place like hell. Huskus asks how is it? Wyatt says that's a place to inflict suffering and a place you can enter but can't leave without emotional and physical scars. So then he continues to say how he's going to go ask the Fiend, like, if he could, like, I guess, take it easy on Seth Rollins. And he comes back like 3 seconds later and he said he was joking. Well, that had me laughing. It was pretty funny. And it just ends off with you know, Wyatt saying goodbye. And he's laughing and then he goes to serious saying, let me in. Like, he's very serious about it. They show the Fiend like in a cutscene, transitioning from the Fiend to Bray Wyatt. That's how that ended. Next here was AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander. This was a damn good match. Damn good match. Styles wins via pinfall after a Styles clutch. This match was very competitive. So, I love how this match ended. Cedric Alexander was about to go for the lumbar check. And as soon as they throw Styles up, AJ Styles reverses, puts him in a roll-up, picks him back up, and hits him with the Styles Clash. This was a good match by itself. You guys, I recommend, if you didn't see this match, go back and watch it. Now, I will say this, though. The rumors about Vince McMahon calling for the burial of Cedric Alexander, I don't believe it. Because if he did, Cedric Alexander would have been squashed this match. This guy would have gotten completely buried in this match. And he competed. I wish Cedric would have won, but AJ, it shows otherwise, of course. As you can see, AJ won. And I see what they're doing. They want to continue to have AJ Styles look like a dominant champion. They don't feel like Cedric is probably ready yet. I don't think they see that much I think, no, they know what Cedric is capable of. They see great potential in him, in my opinion. But I feel like they're holding him back because they don't see something in him and they feel like something is missing. And that's something I think is probably my quirk. I think he's actually a good promo. I think Cedric's a good promo. But they feel like something is missing with him, and you could just see. Next here was the Street Profits segment. You all know how this is. They hype up the show, and that's just really what consisted of. And they're saying, and they said they'll be back in action on Wednesday to fight and get their their NXT tag team championships back from the Undisputed Era on Wednesday. Next here was Lacey Evans versus Natalya. And Evans wins via pinfall with a roll-up. And after the match, she hits her with the woman's rights. And that's all that ended. Excuse me. Hopefully I can open it this time. Now here was the Paul Heyman segment. So, very good segment. Great promo as well by Heyman. So, he's getting asked about like the what happened out there. Why was this done? So he says you should blame Vince McMahon, not me or Lesnar, because Vince allowed Lesnar to come on the show today, knowing that Lesnar's in fight mode and that he's pissed off and he wants to kick somebody's ass, and he lets Lesnar come out and just do his thing. So he's blaming Vince McMahon, and that Kofi should be watching basically, because what happened to Dominic and Rey, is probably going to happen to Kofi, is what he's hinting at. Backstage next was the Maria Kanellis interview. Charlie asked about Rusev's involvement. Maria says that Rusev is not the father and he has enough going on with Lana. When Maria walks off, Sasha Banks takes the mic from Charlie and calls out Becky Lynch. She says she will tap out Becky and that she was in the first Women's Hell in a Cell match and she won't lose her match. Excuse me. Good job here by Sasha Banks continuing to build up this rivalry with Becky Lynch. That is going to be probably the final word that she has on Becky Lynch. Well, Friday as well, because of the match of Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte. We're going to have to see what happens there. But this is probably going to be the final stage Sasha Banks has. And Friday is looking like it's going to be wrapping up and getting ready for that match they're going to have in Hell in a Cell, which is going to be a damn good match in my opinion. Next here was the main event, Seth Rollins versus Rusev for the Universal Championship match. Before I get into this match, one thing I want to say, what has Rusev done to have deserved this title match? He has done nothing. He hasn't won any He beat Mike Kanellis? Congratulations. You want a cookie? Look, you haven't done anything. Rusev hasn't done anything at all to get a match. Well, to even get this caliber of a match. Look, wins and losses should really matter in WWE. I know in AEW they're going to matter because they've even talked about it. Rusev hasn't done anything. And I don't want to hear that he helped Seth Rollins. I know why they did it, because they felt like it transitioned, and I don't blame them for that. But let's kind of be like real here. He hasn't done anything to deserve this match, and I felt like this was out of place. This wasn't needed. So, during this match, Randy Orton and King Corbin are watching from the ramp. Toward the end of the match, Rusev hits Seth Rollins with a super kick when Seth Rollins goes to jump off of the ropes, about to hit Rusev with one of his moves, with one of his arsenal moves, and Rusev just super kicks him, taking Seth Rollins out of the ring, and then Bobby Lashley's music hits, and I'm like, oh, now this was me, I'm like, oh, no. Oh, man, I gotta go. And then, Bobby's Lashley music hits, and he's just pointing behind him, like he's going like this. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, don't tell me that this is about to happen. Lana comes out, I'm like, well, there's your main event. That's a wrap. Smell ya. Forget about it. Lana comes out, and she gets next to Bobby Lashley. I'm like, okay, now we see what's happening now. At least WWE showed Lana and brought up the fact how he was with Maria, but now what happened to Lana? They're on Instagram. Like, you can even see on their Instagram, about they're always with each other. And then But remember, it's WWE storyline. And Lana just comes out with Bobby Lashley. And when she's with Bobby Lashley, they look at each other and they just start making out. Like, they're all over each other and stuff. I'm like, well, okay. Am I watching 50 Shades of Grey? Am I watching a trailer for 50 Shades of Grey? Or am I watching Monday Night Raw? I forgot. And what really had me was, what really helped me remember that I was watching Raw was that The Fiend came out. I'm like, oh, thank God, we're back to reality. And The Fiend comes out, and he puts the mandible claw on Seth Rollins, and that is how the show ends up. So, that is your Monday Night Raw review, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you back again for your Friday night Smackdown Live review. Feels weird saying Friday night. I like it more when it's on Friday, but it kind of feels weird. So, but yeah, guys, I had a good time doing this review. I think this is probably one of the best ones yet. I really do. It was really funny in my opinion. I know probably a lot of you were probably laughing at the 50 Shades Grades joke. That was pretty good. And no, yeah, it wasn't a bad show. Wasn't a great show. It was a decent show. It was a good show. Had me entertained. It did get the job done, showing me into a transition into a new era. Could have been better. Lots of logic gaps though in this show, especially regarding the Rusev and Rusev, Lana, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, King Corbin, all this stuff. That had me really confused. But yeah, guys, that is how the show ended. My Instagram and Twitter are down below. And there is also another video posted up here with Jamar getting interviewed about modern sports media. You guys are going to love it. You guys got to hit that like button, comment on there, share to all your friends. Not only that, make sure you also like this video, leave comments, smash that subscribe button, notifications on, send this to as many friends as possible. Like Jamar said in the last interview, we are coming. Stay tuned.